I've had to get another needle out. I thought I'd lost my needle. It was fastened to my sewing.
Where am I? Oops.
Admitted. Only a minute to go.
I don't know. Nice, very nice.
Right, I am going to mute everyone. John Fowler, you've got the hand up signal. You'll need to unmute to speak to me if you want to.
What's up, Neil?
There's a thing where you can put your hand up and you've got it on your screen.
Have I?
Yeah, but if you didn't want me for anything specific, I can lower it again. It's all right.
I've done it. It's okay.
Yes. No, that's it. Right. The witching hour is upon us. So I'll just try to admit this guy again. And I'm going to mute everybody and we'll get started. The first carol we're going to have tonight, as per usual, is Sweet Chiming Bells, but this is a version of it I've not played before. It was recorded at the Traveller's Rest in Outerbridge. So hopefully for once everything will work all right. Does everybody have a symbol on the top of the screen that says recording, I hope? Just put your thumb up if you can. Right. Good. Right, here we go then. Sweet Chiming Bells.
You've got it, Will.
While shepherds watch their flocks by night, all seated on the ground, the angel of the Lord came down, and glory shone around. Sweet bells, sweet chiming Christmas bells, sweet bells, sweet chiming Christmas bells, they cheer us on a heavenly way. Sweet chiming bells, they cheer us on a heavenly way. Sweet chiming bells. bells, they cheer us on a heavenly way, sweet chiming bells. They cheer us on a heavenly way, sweet chiming bells.
Sweet chiming Christmas bells. Even with a bell at the end there from John. Yeah, that were recorded in the Traveller's Rest at Outerbridge on the 21st of December last year, which surprised me when I looked at the video because it doesn't look as full as what it normally does. Of course, that was Barbara on the piano. The next carol that we're going to have is number 16 in your sheets. Those people have got them. It's Awake Arise Good Christians, which I always follow after Sweet Chiming Bells, but from a more unusual venue, although they sing it more or less, as I can tell, exactly the same as we do in Sheffield. This was shot in the Waterman's Arms in Richmond upon Thames down in London. There's 2 or 3 venues in London that have the village carols, and this is one of them. There's also one in Putney that we played last year. Right, I understand that you can all hear the ding dong when people join in, so I'm going to have to find a way of turning that off. Typical. I thought everything was going well technologically this week, and obviously I found some way of messing something up again. But anyway, so we'll have Awake Arise Good Christians, and in the meantime I will try to resolve that.
Awake, arise, good Christians, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Saviour was born upon this day. The self-same moon was shining,
I've decided the best way to resolve this ding-donging every time somebody comes in is to only allow people to come in at the end of each carol when I'm blathering away as I am now. So I don't mind people interrupting me with a doorbell. That's fine. So we can prevent it from happening while the carols are on. As I said, that was down at the Waterman's Arms, Richmond upon Thames. The next carol we're going to have is number 66 in the carol sheets. It's Outerbridge, or if you prefer, Good News or Swain Hark. And this is from the Firth Hall in Sheffield. It was only last week that I found out about the Firth Hall being there. It's near the universities in Sheffield. And I know that most of you that have joined us tonight may have physical disabilities. So this one is especially for those who are deaf, because it's got sign language accompanying it. So if you're deaf, you'll be able to follow the sign language. A lot of people say that I'm tone deaf, but I don't think that counts. I certainly can't read sign language anyway. So as I say, this is number 66 in the sheets. It's Outerbridge, Good News, Swain Hark, and here we go. So that was Outerbridge from Firth Hall in Sheffield. I could, some of the sign language I could understand, like it's slumbering, but I didn't quite catch how they managed to portray a virgin. That was lost on me. I didn't notice what that was, but perhaps I'll have to watch it a few more times. The next carol we're going to have is Reapers 149 in the carol sheets, and this is from the Royal Hotel at Dungworth, one of two venues that I know is renowned for singing Reapers. One is the Royal Hotel at Dungworth, and the other is the Sportsman at Lodge Moor. Well, the version we're going to have is from Dungworth. It's 149 in the carol sheets, and it's Reapers. And as I've told you every week so far, we have to play this before 10 o'clock because that's when Joe Atkins used to go home.
Thank you, Chris. I was just telling this gentleman over here, if you look to the right, you might see some weird people mining tambourines. Don't you? There you were.
So there we go, Reapers up at Dungworth. I know all the carols are my favourite. There's very few of them I don't like, but that is one particular favourite of mine. I once made the terrible mistake of asking Julia Bradbury, who plays the organ to accompany the singing at Worrell, if we could sing Reapers, and I was told very quickly and very curtly, if you want to do Reapers, go to the Royal at Dungworth. So that was her advice. The next one we're going to have is a solo, and this is a solo by Fraser Jarvis. Now, Fraser sang this solo some weeks ago. I think it was on the first one of these sessions we did way back in the middle of November. And I got that many people commenting how well that he'd sung it. That they were, and also asking if he could sing it again. So I'll hand over to Fraser now because he's going to sing the Christmas Goose again for us. Over to you, Fraser.
Okay, thank you very much, Neil. Thanks again for organising these things. Here we go again then. He was at an inn in Manchester, the Cornstalks was its sign, a famous public where commercials used to sleep and dine. A traveller one Christmas Eve, as long had been his use, called in to spend his holiday and choose his Christmas goose. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. He sipped his glass of sherry wine and smoked a mild cigar. He chatted with the landlord and the customers at the bar, but not a thought of wickedness e'er entered in his head, until the chambermaid came down to light him up to bed. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. But then he grew so amorous, he squeezed her on the stairs. He kissed her by the chamber door before he said his prayers. He gave to her a guinea to prevent her being vexed, and then he blew the candle out, and you can guess the next. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. Next morn this gay Lothario discharged his little bill. He tipped the boots and tossed the landlord for a parting Jill. But where he went to after that, it's not for me to say. Suffice he came to choose his goose that very next Christmas Day. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. Next Christmas time came round again, which filled his heart with glee. He rambled round from town to town, and strange sights did he see, until he come to Manchester, and put up for the night at the Cornstalks, which 12 months before had filled him with delight. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. He sauntered in the coffee room as jaunty as could be, where many a rooster like himself was waiting for his tea. He ordered up the very best the landlord could produce, and called the waiter back to say, "Now don't forget the goose." All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. Right speedily a tray was brought with eatables galore, and by that self-same chambermaid he'd kissed 12 months before. But when he looked beneath the cloth, no eatables was piled. Instead of eatables he found a big fat bumping child. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn. Enraged at hearing others laugh, "What is this here?" said he. "Come sit you down beside me, sir, and I'll tell you," said she. "Last Christmas you so generous were, nay, do not think it strange. You gave to me a guinea. Well, I've brought you back your change. All around the greenwood, so early in the morn, the merry, merry huntsman blows his silver bugle horn.
Yeah, all unmute yourself and give Fraser a round of applause. That was a marvellous rendition of the Christmas goose. Yeah, give him a big round. That's it. Wonderful. We've got a few more people joining us. So you might get little ding-dongs for a second or two. Right, the next carol we're going to have another Wild Shepherds. This is 213 in the booklets, and the version of Wild Shepherds we're going to have is Pentonville. And this was recorded up at the Old Harrow at Grenoside. So that's 213, and thank you very much, Fraser. That was as excellent as it was the first time you did it a few weeks ago. If not better, I think you may have been practicing. So absolutely excellent. So 213 is the next one. Wild Shepherds to Pentonville, shot at the Old Harrow at Grenoside. There we go, Pentonville. Did anybody notice the I can't say this word, anomaly in that rendition of Pentonville? Some venues you go to, the carolers sing "And on the earth be peace," and others venues they sing "And to the earth be peace." Well, in that rendition they sang both. On the first repeat they sang on the earth, and then on the second repeat of it they sang to the earth. So that was a bit unusual. So I still don't know what they sing up at the Grenoside there, which one it is, or if it is always both at the Old Harrow. Who knows? The next carol we're going to have is number 145 in the booklets, and I was singing this. It's a song, really. It's not really a carol at all, is it? Holmfirth, the Pratty Flowers, Holmfirth Anthem. I was singing this long before I was ever singing carols, because this used to be the Sheffield Rambling Club's anthem, and that was a particular time when I could go out and ramble. And these days I have trouble getting round block near our house. But in those days I used to be one of the Sheffield Ramblers, and this was their anthem, and they used to sing it wherever they went, whenever they went, including at Christmas carol sings. So it's one of the songs that Sheffield Rambling Club are responsible for bringing into the carolling traditions. This version of it is sang up at Dungworth. And as I say, it's number 145 in the booklets. Holmfirth, Pratty Flowers. Here we go.
Summer's evening clear. Where behold those beautiful damsels lamenting for a shepherd dear. Lamenting for a shepherd dear. The dearest evening that e'er I beheld was ever, ever, ever with the ones I adore. The dearest evening that e'er I beheld was ever, ever, ever with the last I adore. Wilt thou find young French and Spaniards? Wilt thou leave me thus, my dear? Wilt thou leave me thus, my dear? No more to yon green banks will I take thee with pleasure, for to rest myself and view the land. No more to yon green banks will I take thee with pleasure, for to rest myself and view the land. But I will take thee to yon green gardens, where those pretty flowers grow. Where those pretty, pretty flowers grow. But I will take thee to yon green gardens, where those pretty flowers grow. Where those pretty, pretty flowers grow. But I will take thee to yon green gardens, where those pretty flowers grow. Where those pretty, pretty flowers grow.
Holmfirth, sorry, it would appear that whoever shot that video, and I hasten to add it wasn't me, missed the first couple of lines off, but I hope it didn't spoil your enjoyment of it. You will notice that that was the Sheffield Ramblers Club version of the Holmfirth anthem, and you can tell that because if you were to go to Holmfirth and hear the people in that area sing it, or even as far south as Barnsley and such, they sing it slightly different. At the end there, the last repeat, they hold on to the word thee, and I will take thee to yon green gardens, whereas the Sheffield Rambling Club never used to do that, and so that's how it came into our tradition in that form. The next carol we're going to have is Portugal, and I can't mention the word Portugal without once again speaking of our dear friend Pat Mallum, who sadly passed away earlier this year, and it was one of his favourites. This particular version of it was Pat would have been singing on because he never missed the Village Carols Festival at Grenoside, and I believe you can see Pat on this video shot of Portugal, which is number 144 in your books, up at the Grenoside Community Centre. I do believe you can see Pat singing this, albeit briefly. So we'll move on with number 144, and this is Portugal. So there we go, Portugal in all its glory from the Festival of Village Carols at Grenoside. The next carol we're going to have is a favourite of everyone, I think. It's number 22 in the sheets. It's Back Lane. Once again, this one was recorded at the Royal Hotel at Dungworth in 2018, in fact. I have to apologise for this one because I believe it was shot in portrait, because I think it's one of the ones that I did. But all the same, I hope you'll find it enjoyable. Back Lane at the Royal Hotel at Dungworth, number 22 in the sheets.
David sends he flies.
next we're going to have a solo again, but before we have the solo, a little quick advert. Although this is the last sing before Christmas, that we are having another couple of sings after Christmas. The first one being next Saturday, that's Boxing Day at the same time as usual. And then one also on New Year's Day, again at the same time. The singing will start at 8 o'clock. So this is another soloist who sang this song before, and I've had so many comments about how they enjoyed hearing it, and I hope everybody will be barking at the appropriate place at home. We're going to have Jeff Wright sing for us, and he's going to sing The Holly and the Ivy. So I'll hand over to Jeff.
Somebody also made a comment on the chat that if you stop if you stop sharing your screen, it comes up big in the on everybody's screen in the middle. But there you go.
There's something else I can do, actually. I don't need to stop sharing. You can spotlight somebody, which is what I've done for you.
Oh, there you go. Oh, the holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a blossom as white as any flower, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to be our sweet Saviour. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a berry as red as any blood, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to do poor sinners good. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a prickle as sharp as any thorn, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ on Christmas Day in the morn. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly bears a bark
Woof, woof.
as bitter you put me off. As bitter as any gall, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ to redeem us all. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir. Oh, the holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing all in the choir.
Well done, Jeff. Marvellous.
You made me laugh.
It don't make Sue Heritage laugh, but I do it at the Royal.
I wasn't expecting the sound on.
Yes, Sue can look at me rather disapprovingly, shall we say. That's if she can see me. Right. So that's the holly and the ivy. Thank you, Jeff, for that. That was wonderful, and I'm sorry if I put you off. The next carol we're going to have is another Wild Shepherds. This is known as to the tune of Buckley, or some people call it Bradder. And I believe Brad is short for Bradwell. This was sung at the Yorkshire Bridge Inn near Bamford. It's 209 in the carol books to the tune Buckley, or as I say, some people prefer to refer to the tune as Bradder. And it's 209, and here we go. There we go. As I say, Buckley or Bradder from the Yorkshire Bridge Inn in Bamford. It's a lovely pub, is the Yorkshire Bridge Inn. It's just near the Lady Bower Reservoirs. And of course, that was where the Dam Busters did much of their training for the Dam Busters raid. And last year, I just totally coincidentally happened to be out that way near the Yorkshire Bridge Inn, and it was the anniversary of one of the events of the Second World War. And as I was there, the memorial flight flew over with the Wellington bomber, or it could have been a Lancaster, one or the other, and a Spitfire and a Hurricane, which was wonderful to see. The next carol we're going to have is number 77 in your carol books, and this is a carol that I have a bit of an issue with because it's a Tyre Mill, but it's been sung with the words "While Shepherds Watched," that's done in many venues, but I actually prefer the words. Oh no, I'm talking nonsense. That was another one. That's Fern Bank I'm thinking of. No, this is Tyre Mill, which is one of the Harks, number 77, and being sung up at the Royal at Dungworth. Nothing to do with Fern Bank whatsoever. So this is a version of Hark, What News? And the reason why it's called Tyre Mill, I think I've told most of you this before, but I will briefly repeat in case anybody this is the first time they've come along. Well, the Tyre Mill was one of Samuel Fox, or part of Samuel Fox's steel plants up at Stocks Bridge. And George Rees, who the tune is attributed to, was one of the employees at Samuel Fox's, and everybody called it the Tyre Mill because that was one of the rolling mills where they produced tires, steel tires that fitted around locomotives and rolling stock for the railways, and it was always known locally as the Tyre Mill. And it's sadly, as is much of the case with many of these rolling mills, it's shut down now. But as the workforce were walking out of the Tyre Mill on their last shift, they all sang this carol that we're about to have now, which must have been quite moving. So here we go with Tyre Mill. So there we go. That was Tyre Mill from the Royal Hotel at Dungworth. Another little known fact about Samuel Fox, where that steelworks was based, is that Samuel Fox himself actually invented the modern day ribbed folding umbrella. I don't know what he'll have earned more money from, the tyres for the railway locomotives or the umbrellas. But yes, he invented those umbrellas that we all use these days. The next carol we're going to have is another one that certainly at Dungworth was introduced up there by the Sheffield Rambling Club. It was an old chap, part of the Rambling Club, a chap called Albert Broadhead, and he was a wonderful old man, a great friend of mine. I loved him dearly. Sadly, he passed away some time ago now. But his favourite hymn was an Easter hymn. It was Hail Smiling Morn. And that, again, the Rambling Club always used to sing it wherever they went throughout the year, and including at Christmas time. So although in Derbyshire it's a slightly different version, and I have a suspicion it might have been around there for some time, or even Albert might have heard the carol in Derbyshire, but it certainly was his favourite hymn, an Easter hymn. So we're going to have number 74. That's in your booklets, and it's Hail Smiling Morn. This one's coming from the Travellers' Rest at Outerbridge, again shot last year in the 21st of December. So without further ado, number 74, Hail Smiling Morn.
Hail, smiling morn, as if the hills we go, as if the hills we go, and whose rosy fingers open wide the gates of heaven, the gates of heaven, and whose rosy fingers open wide the gates of heaven. Hail, smiling morn, as if the hills we go, as if the hills we go, and whose rosy fingers open wide the gates of heaven, the gates of heaven, and whose rosy fingers open wide the gates of heaven. Oh, the green fields that nature doth unfold, oh, the green fields that nature doth unfold, and whose bright presence darkness flies away, flies away, flies away, flies away, flies away. Darkness flies away, darkness flies away, and whose bright presence darkness flies away, darkness flies away, darkness flies away. Hail, 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 hail. And all the green fields that nature doth unfold, oh, the green fields that nature doth unfold, and whose bright presence darkness flies away, flies away, flies away, flies away, flies away. Darkness flies away, darkness flies away, and whose bright presence darkness flies away, darkness flies away, darkness flies away. Hail, 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 hail,
Hail Smiling Morn, as I say, at the Travellers' Rest in Outerbridge. For those of you who are not from the Sheffield locality. It might surprise you to learn that the Travellers' Rest at Outerbridge that we're all singing in and playing along to the wonderful piano playing of Barbara is a Samuel Smith's pub, because they don't normally allow singing in Sam Smith's pubs. But that one is one exception where for years, many years, they still do so. And long may it continue, regardless of what Sir Humphrey, who is the guy who owns the Sam Smith's pubs, thinks of it. It would appear that despite his best efforts, he's not been able to stop it. And so it still continues. And hopefully when we get back to singing in live venues, hopefully next year, we will again be singing in the Travellers' Rest at Outerbridge. The next carol we're going to have is number 53. And this is another firm favourite of Pat Mallam's. We're going to have Egypt. And this one is being sung in the Royal Hotel at Dungworth. So I doubt we'll see Pat Mallam on this video because he tended to frequent other establishments. I don't think I ever saw Pat at Dungworth. He may have been, but I can't recall seeing him. So it wouldn't have been entreating everybody to sing it slower to give the basses the chance to get in with their lines and their parts. So it's number 53 in the books, and it is Egypt.
Christians, awake and close your eyes, and time is low and green. As it goes to the heavenly Christ, the bright rejoice, arise, rejoice, arise, rejoice, arise, rejoice, arise.
There we go, Egypt. I have a fancy that might have been a bit quick for Pat, but never mind. Just a quick question. Alison Under was with us from down in the Midlands, there below the Midlands. In fact, Alison, somehow you keep unmuting yourself. and I'll keep having to mute you. So just right. The next carol that we're having is number 182. No, sorry, 182. Well, that seems a little bit high. But anyway, it's the Mistletoe Bough. And I'm afraid you're going to have to put up with me singing it tonight. I've got several friends joined us tonight who have been part of the Sheffield Rambling Club. And these same friends, we used to meet at the Sportsman for the carols on a Monday night at Lodgemore. And all the solos used to get sung by other people. And the only one that was left for me to sing was generally this Mistletoe Bough. My friend Don Oliver, who's with us tonight, doesn't like this carol at all. He says it's miserable. And I'd be stood up singing this Mistletoe Bough, and when the chorus comes along, instead of singing "Oh, the mistletoe bough," Don would be sat next to me quite loudly singing "Oh, the miserable cow," which was quite off-putting, but we managed to cope with it. So here we go. This is, as I said, the Mistletoe Bough. And you'll have to look it up in the index if it's not 182, but I think 182 it sounds a bit high. I might have forgot to change that number. So here we go. The mistletoe hung in the old castle hall, the holly branch shone on the old oak wall, and the baron's retainers were blithe and gay, all keeping their Christmas holiday. And the baron beheld with a father's pride his beautiful child, young Lovel's bride. She with a bright eye seemed to be the star of a goodly company. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. I'm weary of dancing now, she cried. Here tarry a moment, I'll hide, and love'll be sure that the first to trace the clue to my secret hiding place. Away she ran and her friends began each tower to search, each nook to scan. A young Lovell, he cried, oh, where dost thou hide? I'm lonely without thee, my own dear bride. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. They sought her that night, they sought her next day, they sought her in vain till a week passed away. In the highest, the lowest, the lonesomest spot, young Lovell sought widely but found her not. The years flew by and the grief at last was told as a sorrowful tale long past. And when Lovell appeared, all the children cried, see the old man weeps for his fairy bride. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. At length on Old Chester a long lane hid was found in the castle. They raised the lid, a skeleton form lay mouldering there in the bridal wreath of a lady so fair. Oh, how sad was her fate in sportive jest, she hid from her lord in an old oak chest. It closed with a spring and the bridal bloom lay withering there in a living tomb. Oh, the mistletoe bough, oh, the mistletoe bough. mistletoe bough, and I should have made myself a spotlight, but I didn't. But never mind. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope particularly Don Oliver enjoyed that, and I hope he was singing along, "Oh you miserable cow," because for once I couldn't hear him doing it because he's across the other side of the city from where I am at the moment. The next carol we're going to have is 208 in the booklets. Another Wild Shepherds. This one is to the tune Liverpool, and it's recorded in the Traveller's Rest at Outerbridge. Once up at the Sportsman we had a visit from Giles Brandreth coming to record the Christmas carols. So I thought we're just going to record the carol session. It was part of the one show, but when he got there they decided that they wanted the same carol singing over and over and over again, so they could get it shot from all different angles and so forth and such like. So we ended up singing Liverpool about 20 times, if not more. So while I say that 208 in the carol booklets, Wild Shepherds, this one again from the Traveller's Rest in Outerbridge.
Oh
Liverpool from the Travellers Rest at Outerbridge. Now, I've got a strong suspicion that video was recorded before Ian Russell, of course, Professor Ian Russell, arranged for the ex-piano that was at the Cutlass Hall, I believe, to be sent up to the Travellers at Outerbridge, and they had it retuned, and it sounded wonderful thereafter. But I think I've got a suspicion that Barbara was playing the old piano there that wasn't tuned for years and years and years. But there we go. Speaking of Professor Ian Russell, I spent a wonderful afternoon today joining the Fulo carols, and I really enjoyed that. And the next carol we're going to have is number 141 in your sheets, carol sheets, and this is part of the Fulo Village tour. This, I think, is a carol that is synonymous with Fulo. It's Peace O'er the World, and it's a similar version to what they sing in Castleton. As I say, it's number 141 in your sheets. Peace O'er the World from Fulo.
Extends, and white robed innocence from men descends. Swift flies the year, and rise expected morn, which brings to life the spacious baby born. Swift flies the year, and arise the expected morn, which brings to life the spacious baby born. Hark a glad voice, the lonely desert cheers. Prepare a way, a God appears. A God, and the vocal hills reply. The rocks proclaim the approaching deity. A God, the vocal hills reply. The rocks proclaim the approaching deity. A God, the vocal hills reply. The rocks proclaim the approaching deity. A God, and the vocal hills reply. The rocks proclaim the approaching deity.
Oh, that was absolutely lovely. Thank you so much. That was lovely.
Unmute, Neil.
Thank you. So that was the village tour at Fulo, and I think it's the only time I've ever seen Ian read words to sing to, and I'm sure he knows Peace O'er the World off by heart. But there we go. The next carol that we're going to have is a bit of an oddity. I think it actually tells you where this carol was filmed, which is a pity, because I was thinking of asking everybody, can you guess where it's filmed? But it is worth noting, it's my section I call 999, ones that aren't in the booklet and are never likely to be, and just something a bit odd to give you all a voice as a little rest. And I'm not exactly sure where the singers of this carol come from originally, but they were singing it in Sheffield.
ദൈവം പിറക്കുന്നു മനുഷ്യനായി ബത്ലഹേമിൽ, മഞ്ഞു പെയ്യുന്ന മലമണക്കിൽ. ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 ഹല്ലേലൂയ. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 ഹല്ലേലൂയ. ദൈവം പിറക്കുന്നു മനുഷ്യനായി ബത്ലഹേമിൽ, മഞ്ഞു പെയ്യുന്ന മലമടക്കിൽ. ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 ഹല്ലേലൂയ. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. പാരിന്റെ നാഥൻ പിറക്കുകയായി. പാതിരാവിൽ മഞ്ഞിൽ തീരനായി പാരിന്റെ നാഥൻ പിറക്കുകയായി. പാടിയാർക്കൂ വീണമീട്ടു ദൈവത്തിൻ ദാസരെ ഒന്നു ചേരൂ. പാടിയാർക്കൂ വീണമീട്ടു ദൈവത്തിൻ ദാസരെ ഒന്നു ചേരൂ. ദൈവം പിറക്കുന്നു മനുഷ്യനായി ബത്ലഹേമിൽ, മഞ്ഞു പെയ്യുന്ന മലമടക്കിൽ. ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 ഹല്ലേലൂയ. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം. പകലോടു മുന്നേ പിതാവിന്റെ കൃത്രിമേ പ്രിയേക സൂനുവാമുകയസുരൻ. പകലോടു മുന്നേ പിതാവിന്റെ കൃത്തിലെ ത്രിയേക സൂനുവാമുദയ സൂര്യൻ പ്രാഭവ പൂർണ്ണനായുയരുന്നിതാ പ്രതാപമോടിന്നേശുനാഥൻ പ്രാഭവ പൂർണ്ണനായുയരുന്നിതാ പ്രതാപമോടിന്നേശുനാഥൻ ദൈവം പിറക്കുന്നു മനുഷ്യനായി ബത്ലഹേമിൽ മഞ്ഞു പെയ്യുന്ന മലർമഴക്കിൽ ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം മണ്ണിലും വിണ്ണിലും മന്ദഹാസം പെയ്യും മധുര മനോഹര ഗാനം ഹല്ലേലൂയ 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 We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So there we were, some people in Sheffield celebrating Christmas. What I loved was the little baby clapping away merrily. And apparently the people in the video, they've been in contact with me and they've said that the alto and the soprano sections were a bit light, but they were all in the kitchen cooking the Christmas dinner. So as I said, I'd love to know who they were. That was wonderful. The next carol we're going to have is Jacob's Well, number 95, and this one comes from the Royal Hotel, again at Dungworth. Jacob's Well. Jacob's well belted out at the Royal at Dungworth. We're going to have another solo next, and I'm very pleased to have with us a gentleman who's going to sing us a song for a time. He's rather well known for singing this song. It's number 4 in your booklet sheets, a song for a time. And may I welcome Mr. John Fowler, who is going to sing it for us. If you'd like to unmute yourself, John.
How's that?
Oh, that's far better, and I can just pop you on a spotlight so everyone can see you. If anybody after John's sung wants to go,
Is that me?
That's certainly you, sir.
My goodness.
And as I said last week, I've seen you looking less festive than that on a Christmas day. So I'm going to mute myself now, and John is going to sing us a song for a time that he's renowned for singing.
Thank you. Somebody the other day, somebody said, "How long have you been singing solo Song for the Time?" And I can't remember who it was. It might have been me, but we thought about it for a long time, and we concluded that we'd no idea how long it had been. But I took over from Harry Green, and Harry Green used to sing at the Royal Hotel. Lovely man, lovely singer. And he went down to the ball at Worrell and sang there for a good number of years. And then when he stopped coming to the scene, that's when I took over. I felt very privileged to take over from him. Lovely man, always came in a suit and tie straight from chapel. And of course, the best night we ever had was one Wednesday night in the ball. And I think there were 8 of us. And they were all chapel people, apart from me. And they all sang the parts marvellously. One of the best nights I've ever had. Accurate chapel part singing. Song for the time. There's a song for the time when the sweet bells chime, calling rich and poor to pray. On this glad morn, when Christ was born, on the holy Christmas day. The squire came forth from his rich old hall, and the peasants by 2 and by 3. The woodman let his hatchet fall, and the shepherd left his tree. A song for the time when the sweet bells chime, calling rich and poor to pray. On this glad morn, when Christ was born, on the holy Christmas day. Through the churchyard snow in a goodly row, they came forth old and young, and with one consent in prayer they bent, and with one consent they sang. A song for the time when the sweet bells chime, calling rich and poor to pray. On this glad morn, when Christ was born, on the holy Christmas day. We'll cherish it now in the time of strife as a holy and peaceful thing, for it tells of his love coming down from above and the peace he deigns to bring. A song for the time when the sweet bells chime, calling rich and poor to pray. On this glad morn, when Christ was born, on the holy Christmas day. In those good old days of prayer and praise, 'twas a season of right goodwill, for they kept his birthday holy then, and will keep it holy still. Song for the time when the sweet bells chime, calling rich and poor to pray. On this glad morn, when Christ was born, on the holy Christmas day. Song for the time.
Oh, go on.
Well done, sir. Marvellous. Thank you.
Good.
Right, on we go. Thank you very much, John. That was excellent. There we go. Right, the next carol that we have coming up is Another Wild Shepherds. This one was being sung in John's haunt, shall we say, where he was to be found every Sunday lunchtime at this time of year normally. It's 202 in the booklets, and it's the Blue Ball at Worrell, and we're going to have Wild Shepherds to the tune Lloyd. Just 1 second. There we go. Yes, as I say, it's 202. It's in your booklets. It's to the tune Lloyd. Lloyd, sung at the Blue Ball at Worrell. The next offering that we have is another one from Ian's Festival of Village Carols at Grenoside, shot in the community hall. It's 187 in your booklets. It's Tinwood. 187, and it's Tinwood. Hopefully you're all ready for 187 Tinwood. Tinwood from the glorious Festival of Village Carols. Wonderful. But I think that video there is a point to tell everyone who ever videos things like this, don't record the sound too near to the tuba. It does sound like somebody being rather flatulent at times when it's too close to the microphone, doesn't it? But all wonderful all the same. The next carol we're going to have is 116 in the booklets. Mount Zion. Again, this one is from the Royal Hotel at Dungworth. Mount Zion 116. One of the famous trilogy of the Mount carols. Mount Moriah, Mount Zion and Mount Olive, of course. I don't know what she had to think about it, but that's another matter altogether. So we're going to have Mount Zion 116 in the booklets. What a marvellous carol that is, Mount Zion. Absolutely wonderful. The next carol we're going to have is number 173 in the booklets, and to save a bit of petrol, we're going to stay up at Dungworth for this. It's Spout Cottage, number 173, and as I say, we're staying at the Royal Hotel at Dungworth for this. So, let's or at least I hope we are. Yeah. There we go.
Remember was born, no house for a home.
stop, Neil.
Spout Cottage, of course, as I say, that's from the Royal at Dungworth. Next, we're going to have a real treat. Now, in the booklets, there is, on number 136, a version of Three Harks. We're going to have another solo. I'm not entirely sure if they are the same words as what we're about to hear from Tina and John across in Orangeville in Canada. They're part of the Orange Peel Morris, and they've sung for us the last few weeks, and quite wonderfully they have done so as well. So we're going to have Three Harks. If John and Tina would like to unmute themselves, that's wonderful.
Yep, we are. We even dressed for the occasion like John Fowler did.
Morris hats and everything.
We took it as a hint.
But what you're not aware of is John's not normally as festive as that in real life.
Humbug.
Yes. So I'm going to, as I say, spotlight you on there. That's wonderful.
Oh.
And I'll mute myself. And whenever you are both ready.
Okay. I think that I got this for about 20 years or so back from the singer Coop Boys and Simpson again. And I was on one of Ian Russell's sings the other day and found out that it quite possibly, it comes from various places, but Fulo is one of them. And I think we do a messed up version of even what we heard 20 years ago. So that frequently happens. So if you can find anywhere to join in, please join in.
Hark,
Hark, hark, hark the herald angels sing. Glory, 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 glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled, God and sinners reconciled.
joy,
Joy, joy, joyful all ye nations rise.
joy,
Joy, join the triumph of the skies, with the angelic host proclaim, with the angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem, Christ is born in Bethlehem.
veiled,
Veiled, veiled, veiled in flesh the Godhead see. Hail, hail, hail the incarnate deity.
Pleased as man with man to dwell. Pleased as man with man to dwell. Jesus our Emmanuel. Jesus our Emmanuel.
Mild,
Mild, mild, he lays his glory by. Born, born, born that man no more may die. Born to raise the sons of earth. Born to raise the sons of earth. Born to give them second birth. Born to give them second birth.
hail,
Hail, hail, hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace. Hail, hail, hail the Son of Righteousness. Light and life to all he brings. Light and light to all he brings. Risen with healing in his wings. Risen with healing in his wings. Thank you.
Marvellous. Thank you, John. Thank you, Tina. Excellently sung.
So I
Pleasure.
don't know if that's the right version, but that's the one we do.
Well, that was absolutely wonderful. So let me do that. Resume this share. Next, we're going to have a video that I'm showing because the lady who introduces this next offering we have annoyed me a little bit. There's a tune to Wild Shepherds that we very, very, very rarely sing in Yorkshire. The actual name of the tune is Cranbrook. Even this afternoon on the Fulo Virtual Sing, somebody introduced this as Wild Shepherds sung to On Ilkley Bar Tat. Now, for a start, I hate that those words, the whole song. I think it makes everybody from Yorkshire sound absolutely pudding thick. About as if you'd be talking to somebody that's already dead for a start, particularly about eating worms and all the like. I think it's ridiculous. But of course, the tune is about 100 years older than that stupid version. Cranbrook was written well before On Ilkley Moor by Tat was even ever thought of. And it was written by a gentleman from Kent, so it's got even less to do with Yorkshire. So anyway, we're going to have Cranbrook, which is 204 in the booklets. Just have to do this. I'll get it going, and you'll see what I mean about this lady at the beginning.
Our next song for you, we're going Yorkshire one. And it's Wild Shepherds Watched to the tune of On Ilkley Moor Bar Tat. So I'm sure some of you have heard it.
All seated on the ground.
forthwith appeared a shining throng of angels praising God with us. All angels praising God with us. Address the joyful song. Address the joyful song. Address the joyful song. All glory to God on high, and to the earth be peace. Goodwill has flown from heaven to men. Goodwill has flown from heaven to men. Begin and never cease. Begin and never cease. Begin and never cease.
Cranbrook, I'll have you. Never mind this on Ilkley Moor Bar rubbish. Cranbrook. Right, I have another absolute delight for us. I published the running orders well before the carol sings, and I do always put on this subject to change, or words to that effect. And they're about to be changed now, because we're going to have an extra solo from my great friend Mr. Paul Horton, who is going to sing for us Awake My Harp. So, Paul, would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes, can you hear me?
Most certainly can.
Good, good.
Spotlight you.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Mr. John Fowler for putting me onto this one of Humble Swain's marvellous CDs. It's from the Stannington Red Book, which has some absolute gems in it that we don't sing anywhere near enough. So here comes Awake My Harp. Ah, wake my harp, my lute and cheerful voice, ye people all in songs of praise rejoice, on this glad morn to chase the gloom of night. The Star of Jacob rose, the Star of Jacob rose, the Star of Jacob rose divinely bright. Behold, he comes, Messiah from above, come to perform his mighty acts of love. A virgin pure from Abraham's chosen race brings forth the seed divine, brings forth the seed divine, brings forth the seed divine, this world to bless. A child to us is born, a son is given, in mortal's flesh appears the Lord of heaven. Humbly he stoops to this polluted earth, diffusing gladness, diffusing gladness, diffusing gladness at his wondrous birth.
Well sung, Paul. Marvellous. I'm beginning to wish I'd not found out about this spotlight business, because I have to press all sorts of buttons to get back to where I was. Nearly there, that's about it. Right, that was absolutely wonderful, Paul. Thank you very much. We're going to move on. And next we're having 176 in the carol books. That's the Star of Bethlehem, and it's been sung at the Blue Ball at Worrell. So that's 176 at the Blue Ball at Worrell. So
Oh
The Star of Bethlehem from the Blue Bowl at Worrell. And no matter how many times I listen or watch that video, when that bloody phone rings in the middle of it, I always pick my phone up to see if somebody's ringing me. But there we go. I've had a special request that we have a carol from the Warncliffe Arms at Warncliffe. And I am able to oblige with this next one, but it is the only video I have ever shot at Warncliffe. And strangely enough, the request I had happens to be from the wife or partner. I'm not sure which. She didn't tell me go into their intimate relationships that deeply. So it's either the wife or the partner of the person who's singing the solo here. I think he's called Eddie. But again, I'm not entirely certain. And it's the Christmas Tree, and it's a carol I love, so that's what we're going to have next. It is number 36 in the booklets, number 36. It's the Christmas Tree, and my apologies to Eddie if his name's not Eddie, but this is from the Warncliffe Arms at Warncliffe.
Thank you, this stage, please. Come this way, so blithe and gay, on this merry Christmas day. So merrily, so cheerily, with his pink hat and his reindeer sleigh. With lots of toys for girls and boys, as pretty as you ever did see. Oh, this is Santa Claus's band, just jingle with a Christmas tree. Ho, 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 and jingle, 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 right merry shall you be. And jingle, jingle comes this way, comes with a Christmas tree. And welcome, 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 Christmas, welcome shall you be. Oh, here he is, yes, yes, he is. 'Tis Chris with the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree. His sleigh bells ring with a merry jing, as all the roads the reindeer spring. Gee up, gee ho, how swift they go, away all the ice and the drifts of snow. For he must call on one and all his master pretty pets to see. Oh, welcome Santa Claus's man, just jingle with a Christmas tree. Ho, 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 and jingle, 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 right merry shall you be. And jingle, jingle comes this way, comes with a Christmas tree. And welcome, 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 Chris, right welcome shall you be. Oh, here he is, yes, yes, he is. 'Tis Chris with a Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree. With cakes and plums, trumpets and drums, lots of pretty things he comes. So now be quick, your places take, and all a merry circle make.
For now he's near, he'll soon appear, and we his jolly face shall see. Oh, this is Santa Claus's man, Chris Kringle with a Christmas tree. Ho, 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 and jingle, 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 right merry shall you be. And jingle, jingle comes this way, comes with the Christmas tree. And welcome, 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 Chris, right welcome shall you be. Oh, here he is, yes, yes, he is, this Chris with the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree, the Christmas tree.
The Christmas Tree, sung at the Blue Boat, at the Warncliffe, and my humblest apologies if that gentleman's name isn't Eddie, but it was last week when I had this conversation online with his good lady. We're into the final running now, and the next carol we have is from the Royal at Dungworth, and it's number 49 in your sheets, and it is Diadem. That wonderful carol, Diadem. Number 49 in the sheets. And again, it was one of these that I have to apologize for because I shot this video and I was holding my phone in portrait because that's how Facebook prefers you to post videos on there, in portrait. And we will get on with it. Diadem.
Oh, hail the power of Jesus.
So there we are, the wonderful diadem. From the Royal at Dungworth, we're moving over to the Blue Ball at Worrell for the next one. 114 in the sheets. It's Mount Moriah, the second of those Mount carols that I mentioned earlier. So that's 114, Mount Moriah from the Blue Ball at Worrell.
It wasn't off. The video was not off.
Okay,
it's
babe.
right there, and like
Babe,
you're recording.
babe, you walked in. Okay.
Babe, you told me that you were listening, not recording. Not like there's a video either.
out, Mariah. Must give a quick apology when this screen share stops working. It seems that Zoom doesn't like me switching between having people spotlighted and screen sharing, and I'm trying to get on top of it, but I hope it's not spoiling everybody's enjoyment too much. The penultimate carol we're going to have is 208. I'm sure very few of you will need the words, to Wild Shepherds, to the tune of Old Foster, and this is being sung at the Festival of Village Carols up in the community hall at Grenoside. There we are, the wonderful Old Foster at the Festival of Village Carols. Somebody has asked me for a carol, James Baxter. I'm sorry, James, the one you've asked for we've already had, so we won't be having that. And my apologies to Paul for sending that message to him directly instead of who it should have gone to. We're coming to the close now. Before we do close, I'd like to thank everybody for who's joined tonight, and I hope you've enjoyed the vast majority of it.
And thank you, Neil. Thank you.
No, it's mine. It's what I enjoy doing. So I just hope one day I can do it without making a mess of the technological aspects of it. But that seems to be less and less likely the more and more I do it, and the more accomplished I try to become, the less so it appears that I end up being. My next single will be tomorrow. I'm joining the good people from Glossop with their singing. They can't be very discerning, these people in Glossop, because they've asked me to sing a solo for them. So I'll be doing the Christmas tree tomorrow. As I said earlier, we are back on Boxing Day and on New Year's Day. I hope as many of you can join us for those two things as possible. And we're going to finish with number 2, Merry Christmas, as ever, from the Royal Hotel at Dungworth. So I can just precede that by wishing all of you a very Merry Christmas. I hope to see you before the New Year, but if not, please have a wonderful New Year as well. And so we will proceed on to Merry Christmas. If after Merry Christmas is finished, if you all want to unmute, you're welcome to do so. Just try to chat when somebody else is not, else it gets a bit of a mess. So once again, Merry Christmas to everyone, and a very, very Happy New Year. Indeed, a very happy Christmas, and well, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all. I can't believe that somebody's just asking me to join the room. But there you go.
Muted you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Happy Christmas, everyone. Thank you.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
These weird and wonderful times.
Well done, Neil. Excellent job.
Nice return.
Thank you very much.